Alright battlers, welcome back to a brand new Rose Cup video. Today we're taking a look at a double flying core of the mighty Charizard and Aerodactyl. I'm facing off against a mysterious battler today, trainers. If you want to learn who I am facing, watch 3 battles and I will reveal my opponent. Going into round 1, I decided to open up with that mighty Charizard facing off against Medicham. So this matchup is a good one for Charizard, but this matchup is so heavily shield dependent. It is heavily bait dependent. He actually throws the cross chop there, which does actually earn the shield for me. I was expecting a rock slide. I tried to shield bait him there with the dragon claw, but we're actually able to farm him down before he gets to a rock slide. In comes the Gliscor. I'm going to threaten with the blast burn. This is one of the themes that's going to be recurring in this video, trainers. Once Charizard has been on the battlefield for a few turns, a lot of trainers get lost in the sauce and they don't know how much energy it has. It could release the blast burn at any second, and you definitely want to be very careful. Aerodactyl is going to take that Night Slash, no problem. We're going to throw these rock throws against the Skarmory. Skarmory is a steel and flying type, but look at this, trainers, just chunking down at this mighty flying type Skarmory, the king of the flyers, right? Well, Aerodactyl actually has a little bit of play against it. I do have my Charizard, and again, lost in the sauce. Here comes the blast burn. We are going to roast this Skarmory right out of the sky. I switch quickly into Clefable, and my opponent has to get to an Earthquake to KO, but he's not able to do it. Going into the next game, I decided to lead my Clefable into that Gliscor. So Gliscor is going to face off here. The Charm's doing a lot of damage. As you can tell, he is running Air Slash and not Fury Cutter. I know Fury Cutter generates energy more quickly. We do correctly call the Earthquake there, which is excellent for us. I decided to bring in my Aerodactyl. And trainers, it's very rare that you see a flying type counter Skarmory. This is just unreal. I do have to spend at least one shield on it, but it does not want to get hit by these rock slides. So my opponent does decide to shield that rock slide there. And you know what, trainers? I'm going to double shield Aerodactyl. Let's see what happens. These rock throws are chipping down so quickly. We actually erase that Skarmory, and I've got a ton of energy. I could easily get to an Earth Power here, but we are facing off against Gliscor, which is a part flying type, so I want to drop that rock slide on it. We take it down, and then in comes Medicham. One counter brings us down, but trainers, we have a very solid answer on our team. We are going to come back in here with Clefable. I fire off the Psychic here just to burn that shield, although we know Charms will do the work for us. And then right here to switch, right here to absorb the charge attack, I do switch into my Medicham. Absorbing that rock slide, a few counters will win us that game. Going to the next game, I lead Charizard into Charizard. This is a mirror you're going to see quite a bit, trainers. It is best to get comfortable with it. You can win going straight Dragon Claws, but you have to shield the Blast Burn. He actually goes straight for the Dragon Claw. I go straight for the Blast Burn. Let's see how this turns out, trainers. He does shield it, so we're at a big disadvantage here in terms of energy. He is going to get to another charge move, and you know what? I'm going to invest in my Charizard here. I do give it my last shield. I try to go here for a Dragon Claw, but we actually lose the CMP tie. He hits us, but we QSA'd and we get our Dragon Claw off on the Charizard. Right here, one more fire spin, we bring it down. I guess that might be superior IVs. I do have a rank 8 Charizard. I'm going to threaten the Blast Burn here with the Dragon Claw, but he knows that I did not have enough energy. I do decide to bring in Steelix. Steelix is something I just added to my team, and we're going to swap right in here to Medicham versus Clefable. So we know that how this is going to go. I added Steelix because I really want a fairy counter that I can switch in against the Flyers as well. And I know Steelix is good. Shout out to Gemma Banks. We've been talking about Steelix since the Rose Cup came out, but I haven't added it to my team, and I'm just trying it out. This is my first batch of matches with Steelix. I'm actually running a kind of funky moveset too. I don't have Crunch on my Steelix. I'm running Heavy Slam to smash the fairy types, and Earthquake to bust all of the walls. I have Dragon Tail because it charges quickly, and that's the only reason I have it. If I had TMs, I'd probably give it Thunder Fang, like my friend Shiny Hunter Ben, but that is to be determined. My opponent's actually going to go straight Sky Attack here. I think there probably was an opportunity for a Flash Cannon here, but the Sky Attacks are just not doing that much. We are going to get to another Heavy Slam, and this is finally going to be enough. Trainers, it's time to reveal our mysterious opponent. We are battling against the legendary champion of LA, Lemon Lime. These are great battles. I actually added Lemon Lime because he was in my Ranger lobby before he became ultra famous, and I Guess that's a good thing because he probably doesn't have any friend space at all at this point, but I'm just loving these battles. Great competitor, and I did get over on him on these matches here, but he is an outstanding battler, and I cannot wait to see what he does with the Rose Cup. I'm going to drop the Rock Slide here on the Skarmory, and it does get shielded, which is good for us. I'm going to shield my Machamp here, just trying to keep it in the game. I do swap here into my Charizard, again with the Charizard Aerodactyl core. He doesn't know which one is coming out. Charizard gets right to that Blast Burn so quickly, and we do draw that second shield out of Machamp. I know the Rock Slide is coming, trainers, but I'm going to push Charizard to the limit here, pedal to the metal. Let's see what happens. We actually are able to get to another Blast Burn. I'm serious about Charizard, trainers. Jay Devin mentioned that we might be sleeping on Charizard, and I think he is right. It is a great Pokemon to use. In comes Lemon Lime's Charizard, and we actually tie for the Dragon Claw, but he gets to his first. Not a big deal. In comes Big Bird Aerodactyl. We're going to drop these rock throws so heavy on that Charizard. I'm going to Rock Slide this Skarmory. Aerodactyl, sad Charizard there at the end. Going to the next game, I lead my Clefable into Gliscor. He does swap out into his Steel type Skarmory. I decided to bring in my Aerodactyl here. Again, trainers, we've seen this a few times. I do not want to take a Flash Cannon, and we correctly call the Flash Cannon. We are on fire for these matches, trainers. These were so much fun. Lemon Lime, thank you for the battles. I'm sure we're going to play again very soon. We are actually able to Rock Throw down the Skarmory, which is great for us. I do have some energy ready, and here comes Steelix, and we fire off the Earth Power, trainers. This is just another awesome thing about Aerodactyl. You can really threaten the walls with the Earth Power. I do make a quick swap here into my Charizard to absorb the crunch. Here comes Gliscor, and we are pushing for that Blast Burn. I'm actually going to shield up this attack. It will be the Night Slash, and then farm up a couple more Fire Spins and go right for the Blast Burn. Trainers, if we close this game out with Charizard, I need you to smash that like button. Let's see what happens. And we get to the Blast Burn. Is it enough to bring down the mighty Steelix? It is. Smash that like button, trainers. I had so much fun making these fights. Here we go with Aerodactyl versus Medicham. This is actually a matchup that we lose. We do not want to get hit by an Ice Punch. I'm going to decide to shield here with my Aerodactyl, just trying to keep it healthy. I do have some energy banked up, so I'm going to threaten the Earth Power here against Medicham. Let's see if he takes the bait. He does actually take the bait, which is great for us. I decided to bring in my Clefable here and tank whatever this is. It would be the Psychic, so Clefable chips down. But you know what, trainers? It's not a huge problem. Clefable is so bulky that I honestly prefer it to go into those matchups with a little less health, because it means the Steel types can farm it up a little less than they would normally. So I actually am unable to get off the Psychic there, which is a big bummer for us. But in comes Aerodactyl, still pushing really hard, trying to KO the Charizard, but he does get to the Dragon Claw. So we have two Pokemon. He has a shield and two Pokemon. In comes my Machamp here, just trying to burn this final shield off of my opponent. This match is so close, trainers. He is going to shield that attack, and then in comes an attack from Medicham. I'm expecting Psychic, and it is. In comes my Aerodactyl, and we're actually unable to Rock Throw it down, so Lemon Lime takes that game. Going to the next round, I lead my Charizard into Medicham, again with the double Flyer Core strat of Aerodactyl and Charizard. Aerodactyl did not do very well in that last round, so let's try out Zard. I'm going to threaten that Blast Burn. Again, trainers, you do not want to get hit by a Blast Burn. It is such a great move. I thought that might be Psychic, but I wasn't counting very well, so I do end up shielding that. I know this is an Ice Punch, so I do not shield that. I decided to bring in my Clefable here, just like we did in the previous game, but in comes Skarmory. We did take a shield from Lemon Lime, though, which is great, because it means that we can just unleash that Blast Burn as soon as we get that final shield out of the way. So we're going to fire off the Psychic here against the Skarmory. He does not shield. Not very effective damage against Steel type Skarmory, obviously, but we do chip it down deep into the red. So at this point, trying to decide what to do, I do bring in my Aerodactyl. I'm expecting a Flash Cannon here, trainers, and it's actually a Sky Attack. He pushes really hard to get to another Flash or another attack, presumably Flash Cannon, but the Rock Throw does so much damage. Quick swap into Charizard here with the Dragon Claw against his Charizard. I am trying to weaken this thing so that I can come in with my Aerodactyl and I can Rock Throw it down. However, this Charizard has tons of energy, trainers. Will it be the Blast Burn? And it is, but we survive it. Aerodactyl resisting Blast Burn, trainers. If I have not sold you yet, I don't know what I have to do. I drop a Rock Slide here on Medicham, and we win that round. Going to the next game, I lead Clefable into Gliscor. This is a matchup we know we can win unless he gets to the Earthquake. So because he did the Earthquake previously, I'm going to assume that he is not going to do it, but just to be safe, I will shield, and it will be the Night Slash bait. I consider a swap there, and then I come into Sableye. Sableye is another Pokemon I had on my team. I did not utilize every Pokemon on my team for this video. Trainers, I don't want to give away all of my secret sauce, but we do finally take down that Gliscor. At this point, Sableye does have a bit of energy stored up. In comes Medicham. So this is actually not terrible for us, but we are in a health disadvantage here. Sableye is getting very weak. We're unable to get to a second foul play, but I do have my Clefable. At this point, trainers, I'm actually going to allow the Psychic through. Clefable is very weak, but I fire out the Psychic here against Skarmory. So again, this is going to come really, really close. He does have 2 shields though, but in comes Aerodactyl, brutally throwing those rocks, pun intended, chipping down Skarmory. We're actually going to shield that Sky Attack and try to be healthy enough to fight this Medicham, but he does get another Sky Attack. So he does bring us really low, trainers. This match comes right down to the wire. A few more rock throws. In comes Clefable, Charm for the win. 1 HP in a dream with Lemon Lime. Such a great opponent. We go to the next game here, Aerodactyl versus Gliscor. A little bit of lag here, not a huge deal. I'm actually comfortable in this matchup because Gliscor has what? Night Slash and Earthquake. Either way, it doesn't really have anything that can really one-shot Aerodactyl, so I'm going to drop this Rock Slide on it. He does decide to shield, and I swap here into my Clefable. I know that this is a Dark-type attack, and Clefable will resist it, so I'm fine bringing that in. In comes the Skarmory, and Clefable is going to chip away piece by piece at the Skarmory. No shields are needed here. I'm going to take that Sky Attack, and we over tap and miss the Psychic. No big deal. In comes my Aerodactyl. I do have 2 shields, so at this point I am going to shield Aerodactyl from the Sky Attack, try to farm down here, and we finally get it. Very low, deep in the rip, but I've got a boatload of energy. I'm going to go straight for the Earth Power here. No reason to bait because I'm going to get KO'd pretty quickly. 3 counters take us down. Charizard with 1 shield versus these pokes with no shields. What do you think is going to happen, trainers? We take that Ice Punch, no problem at all. He makes a swap, trying to catch that Blast Burn with his Gliscor, but we hold on just long enough. We fire off the Dragon Claw against Gliscor. In comes Medicham, and the little yoga instructor is out of room to run. We roast Medicham for the win. Lemon Lime, thank you so much for the battles. Trainers, this is one of the first cores that I've really enjoyed. I will continue to practice with this and get better. If you have a core for the Rose Cup that you would like for me to try or that is working very well for you, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear about it. Please leave me a like, comment if you enjoyed this footage, and subscribe if you want to see more.